In this video, I am going to answer all of your burning questions about the carnivore diet. I run a 4-week coaching program called Keto to Carnivore, where I help people transition from a keto to carnivore diet. I have helped numerous people transition to a carnivore diet successfully and use it to optimize their health. Now, I know it can be pretty overwhelming when you first get started, and that's why I have compiled this list of all of the questions I am asked most frequently. In this video, I will answer these questions and equip you with the knowledge you need to start a carnivore diet successfully. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name's Kate. I'm a health coach and I post videos on a high-fat, nutrient-dense way of eating. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, feel free to share, and make sure to subscribe. And make sure to follow me on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook, where I share new posts every single day. I have been eating a version of a carnivore diet since mid-2018. And I know when I was first starting out, I had a lot of questions. The carnivore diet seems to go against everything we have ever been told about nutrition. Eat lots of vegetables, limit red meat, limit fat. Is this diet even healthy? I'm gonna answer as many questions as I can in the next 15 minutes, so my answers are gonna be pretty short and sweet, but I do have a lot of videos that go deeper into a lot of the topics we're gonna cover today, and I will link those in the description box down below. What foods can I eat on a carnivore diet? On a carnivore diet, you can eat any food that is an animal or comes from an animal. Meat, fish, eggs, and dairy, those are the basics. So of course, people think of steak, but also lamb, salmon, chicken, pork. These are all carnivore-friendly foods as well. What are the benefits of a carnivore diet? Plant foods can be inflammatory to the body because they contain anti-nutrients such as lectins, phytates, and oxalates. When you're eating a carnivore diet, you are taking all of the most inflammatory foods out of your diet. A lot of people see improvements to autoimmunity when they're eating this way. People who suffer from arthritis, IBS, Hashimoto's, and psoriasis all see their symptoms lessen or go away entirely. As well as that, you might see improvements to body composition, blood sugar regulation, energy, mental clarity, digestion, as well as sleep. Some people even report seeing improvements to their mental health, improvements with depression and anxiety specifically. And I know for myself that when I first started eating a carnivore diet, my anxiety definitely improved. How is the carnivore diet different than a keto diet? The keto diet is based on macronutrients. You are eating high fat, moderate protein, and low carb. Any foods that fit these parameters, whether they be plants or animals, are good for a keto diet. With the carnivore diet, it is less about macronutrients and more about only eating foods from the animal kingdom. By default, it ends up being a low-carb diet because animal foods only contain trace amounts of carbohydrates, that is with the exception to dairy, but it doesn't focus on hitting macros the way keto does. Why would I want to avoid plants? As I said before, plants contain anti-nutrients, and these can be a problem for several reasons. One example is lectins, which are a form of anti-nutrients found in foods such as grains and beans. High quantities of lectins can damage your gut wall, causing celiac disease and IBS. Lectins and other anti-nutrients also bind to minerals and stop their absorption, so these are things such as iron, zinc, and copper. This means that even though some plants may contain higher amounts of some of these minerals, you won't be able to absorb them the same way you would if you were getting them from animal foods. Some people are more sensitive to anti-nutrients than others are, and certain anti-nutrients more than others. For some people, taking these foods out of your diet can be life-changing. Where do I get fiber on a carnivore diet? The carnivore diet is virtually fiber-free. And this can actually be a good thing. Now, I know that we've always been told that diets that are high in fiber are healthy, but this isn't always the case. Low or no fiber diets come with a lot of benefits. especially if you have problems with your digestion. Taking fiber out can be a game changer. In one study comparing high fiber, moderate fiber, and low fiber diets for people with chronic constipation, 100% of the people in the no fiber group saw a complete remission of their symptoms. A carnivore diet can actually prevent constipation. It doesn't cause it. Where do I get vitamins on a carnivore diet? Meat and animal products contain all essential vitamins and minerals. Not only that, but they contain them in forms that are easier for our bodies to absorb. Let's look at vitamin K, for example. The form of vitamin K in plants is vitamin K1, and we can only absorb 10% of what we get through diet. The form of vitamin K that is in foods such as pork and eggs is vitamin K2. This is absorbed at a higher rate than K1 and also stays in our bodies longer. Even vitamin C is in meat, although this is one of the few vitamins that's actually higher in plants than animals. But the catch to this is that vitamin C actually competes with glucose, carbohydrates, to be absorbed in your cells. So if you are eating a low or no carb diet, you are going to be absorbing more vitamin C. What should my macros be on a carnivore diet? Most people eating a carnivore diet do not track macros. They find that they just fall into place naturally. There are some people who advocate for higher protein, and there are some people who advocate for higher fat. I recommend just starting, not worrying too much about the ratios. If you aren't progressing towards your goals, then that might be the time to experiment with higher fat or higher protein. But honestly, most people find they don't have to track at all. Is too much protein bad for my kidneys? No, there is no solid evidence backing up the claim that excess protein is bad for our kidneys. There are a few studies that were done decades ago that seem to show this was the case, but there have been more recent studies that have been more rigorous that disprove this. Do I have to eat only beef? You do not have to eat only beef on a carnivore diet. There are actually several versions of a carnivore diet, with one of them being what I refer to as strict carnivore. This is also known as the lion diet, coined by 𝗾𝗫𝗄 𝗧𝗏. This version of the diet is very strict. You are pretty much eating only beef and other ruminant animals such as lamb. This version of the diet is effective for people with severe autoimmune symptoms. So if this is you, then yes, you might want to start with this version. But this is not the only version, and you might not have to be this strict to reach optimal health. What I refer to as standard carnivore includes all animals and animal products. And this version is suitable for a lot of people. Do I have to eat organ meats on a carnivore diet? This is another aspect of the carnivore diet that is heavily debated. Some people only eat muscle meat, no organ meat at all, and seem to be doing really well. There are other people who advocate for a more nose to tail approach where you eat the whole animal. I tend to fall somewhere in the middle. There are definitely benefits to including organ meats in your diet. Beef liver, for example, is high in a lot of nutrients that beef muscle meat is lower in. The way I see it is that including these foods in your diet is only going to benefit you, and you don't have to eat them every day. Eating beef liver once or twice a week, or even using a beef liver capsule supplement, is enough to see the benefits. Can I eat eggs on a carnivore diet? Yes, eggs are definitely carnivore diet friendly. There are some people who are allergic to eggs and allergic to the whites specifically. Those people, you might want to try just eating the yolks or eating duck eggs instead. If you are allergic, obviously you don't want to include them, but most people do benefit from including eggs in a carnivore diet. Can I eat cheese on a carnivore diet? Yes, cheese is carnivore diet friendly. It comes from milk, which obviously comes from cows and is an animal product, but there's a catch. Cheese contains a type of protein called casein, which can actually be addictive. Because of this, some people find they do better avoiding it on a carnivore diet. Especially if you have fat loss goals, I recommend cutting cheese out at least for a couple of weeks, adding it back in, seeing how you do. But that being said, cheese is actually really nutritious. It is high in calcium, vitamin D3, and vitamin K2, 3 nutrients that work together to ensure strong bones. Can I drink milk on a carnivore diet? Milk is actually a little bit trickier than cheese. Most milks nowadays are pasteurized, and this process destroys most of the nutrients and in turn most of the benefits. A large portion of the population is also intolerant to lactose, which milk is high in. The lactose isn't as much of a concern in cheese because the fermentation process in cheese making lowers it to only trace amounts. This process also lowers the carbohydrate content, so milk ends up being higher in carbs than cheese is. Unless you can get your hands on raw milk, I recommend avoiding it. Do I have to take any supplements? As I said earlier in the video, all vitamins and minerals are in animal foods. The one area you might have to supplement though is electrolytes. Anytime you make a change to your diet, you might experience an electrolyte imbalance. The electrolyte you most want to focus on here is going to be sodium. Get a high quality salt, Redmond's or similar. Add half a teaspoon to your water first thing in the morning and then later throughout the day. If you're experiencing trouble sleeping or muscle cramps, it might be worth also adding in magnesium. And those are the questions that I am most often asked about a carnivore diet. If you are currently eating a keto diet and want to give carnivore a try, but are not quite sure where to start, I have some exciting news for you. Yesterday, I relaunched my 4-week signature program, Keto to Carnivore, with some exciting new updates. This program now includes over 15 carnivore diet recipes, a sample meal plan, shopping lists, and more. You also gain access to a private Facebook group where you can ask questions and I can offer you support and accountability. If you are currently eating a keto diet and want to find out how carnivore can work for you, head to 𝘾𝙊𝗼𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏.com to learn more and to get a free preview of the program. Thank you guys for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. And if you know someone who would find this helpful, you can share it with them as well. If you're just starting a carnivore diet, check out my new to carnivore playlist here. And if you want to catch up on my most recent upload, you can click here. Thanks again, guys. I will see you next time. Bye.